Hello, welcome in everybody. If you are new here, my name is Kinny. I am a professional psychic medium, tarot reader, singer, songwriter, professional witch, and practitioner. Okay, and today I am in my tarot bag. Okay, before we get into what we're getting into today, which is going to be a tarot replay of 2025. Okay, this is part two. Before we get into it today, thank y'all so much for giving me a like, leaving comments down below, okay, hitting that subscribe button, all right, and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss out whenever I post new videos, okay, like this one, okay. Come on, join the family. Let's be kinfolk, okay. But today we're going to get into a tarot replay of 2025, okay? Just like Apple Music replay, all the songs on this series of readings have come from my 2025 Apple Music replay, okay? I will be putting the links to the songs in the description box, okay? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Like I said, this is part two. Okay, so Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer placements are gonna be in part one. Okay, that's already up on the page. And then Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces are going to be on part three. Okay, because these are longer readings. All right. So with that much being said, we're about to go ahead and get into it today with how did 2025 go for Leo placements. Okay, hello Leo, welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, for one, thank y'all for hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, hitting the notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos. Okay, and Leo, also leave me a comment down below about what your favorite song from 2025 was. Okay, but the song that y'all got was Casio by Jungle. Okay, so period. Y'all also may really want to watch the Sagittarius reading, okay? But Leo, okay. Stranger things could definitely be significant, okay? I definitely feel as though 2025, stranger things could happen. Okay, stranger things have happened. All right, I think this was a really weird year for y'all. Okay, I definitely like the word eclectic is coming to my head. Okay, so I definitely think that this was a period of time that may have just felt very like just different, okay? Like you may have been called weird by people for doing the things that you do or dressing the way that you dress or thinking about things how you do this year, okay? But like, fuck it, you know? So I also, the name Kaya could be significant, okay? The name Mimi could be significant, okay? I definitely think that for 2025, like this was definitely a year. Also gives me Mariah Carey, okay? Y'all definitely may want to watch the Sagittarius reading. Mariah Carey is in Aries though with a Cancer moon, okay? So when it comes down to it, Casio, all right, the way that Casio by Jungle was just like everywhere and like dominated, even though they had released that song like years prior, if I'm not mistaken, okay? Um, Actually, now I'm thinking of Back on 74. Okay, that could be significant for y'all too. All right, so for Leo, I definitely think that the fact that Casio was everywhere, I honestly and truly feel like this year could have been like a lot of fun. All right, in terms of you just like trying new shit, doing new things. Okay, I think you definitely met some very very interesting people. Okay, even when they're talking about I just feel like you had a very like vintagey type of year. Like you were okay with doing things in a very strange manner. You were okay with dressing in a more like throwback way, or just like doing things that other people around you weren't super comfortable with you doing, or just like was judging you for. Okay, Casio playing on my heart just like a Casio. Music was very, very, very significant for y'all. Y'all could definitely be musicians, okay? North Node energy could be significant. Okay, Jupiter energy could be significant. But I definitely think that y'all could definitely be musicians, okay? Or producers, people who work in regards to music. And if not that, this could just be the idea that music itself was very, very important to you, okay, during this year. Okay. So I definitely think that with that Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it just came up with Casio by Jungle. All right. I definitely think that Spirit kind of put you on a pause, okay? Because the back of the deck right here is the Page of Wands. Spirit definitely put y'all on a pause, okay? This is an Aries, Leo, Sag placement person and like a lower vibration, okay? Like somebody being childish, okay? I definitely feel as though there was a sense of nostalgia, okay? Maybe you was like messing with people from the past, talking to people from the past, and honestly, like you may have been trying to you may have tried to like fight divine timing during 2025, especially in regards to like love, relationships, or maybe even just like intimacy, okay? But I definitely feel as though this may not have been the easiest year for y'all, okay, Leo? Like y'all had, like it was definitely you trying new shit and doing new things, you know what I'm saying? But this definitely was only not the easiest year because I feel like you didn't get what it was that you want when you wanted it, okay? Leo season could have definitely been difficult for y'all, okay? Leo season could have been difficult for y'all, August, July and August, okay, late July into August. But I definitely feel as though this was definitely one of those years to where like childishness was like not working. I also think that you have to kind of deal with like ego as well as like whether or not you want to be seen and in what ways you want to be seen. Confirmation here in the dryer. Okay, whether or not you wanted to be seen is something that you dealt with this year. Okay, and in what ways do you want people to see you? Okay, but this was definitely some sort of like sneaky ass year. Okay, you definitely could have been childish in some type of way. King of Wands in reverse behind it. Okay, you definitely could have been childish in some type of way. All right, some of y'all could have been like sneaking, okay, doing some shit you ain't had no business, especially if it has to do with like intimacy. Okay, maybe like okay, this could be sneaking around, creeping around. Okay, this could also have to do with like I don't know, like mannishness. Okay, it's gonna have to do with like egoic based things. I definitely feel as though there were some uncomfortable conversations had. Okay, I definitely feel like there were some uncomfortable conversations had. Okay, and you kind of recognizing that you were holding on to certain people, places, or things. I think that the people you definitely fell out with some folks. There was definitely something that hurt your feelings. Okay, you definitely fell out with some folks during 2025. Okay, I definitely feel as though the people around you were kind of reflecting yourself. Okay, I feel like maybe that's why you were so irritated this year. Okay, is there was just a lot of people, mind you, like Jungle is a group. Okay, as soon as I say that, it is still the dryer, still doing its thing. Jungle is a group. Okay, there was something about a group of people, a group of friends. Okay, some sort of structure or dynamic. It could even have to do with like a family situation. There was something about like a group. Okay, that just was not working with that Ten of Pentacles in reverse right there. Okay, it was not solid for the long term. Okay, it wasn't giving solid for the long term. It was just not like not plausible. Okay, so I think that during 2025 you really was recognizing there was like a group of people or like there were some people in general, okay, who just were not supposed to be there for like the long term. Okay, because it just didn't energetically make sense. Okay, especially like skipping people that you were financially involved with in one way or another, or money could have been involved. All right, Leo. But I do think that you were around a lot of people this year, and I do think that you were falling out with some folks this year. Okay. I do think that you were relatively like more popular, okay, than like you normally feel. Okay. Yeah. When all your dreams are gone and you're still holding on. For so long. Yeah, I just feel like divine timing wasn't. You felt like divine timing wasn't on your side. Okay, you were really irritated at the pacing of this year and like all the shit that happened this year. Okay, that's definitely what this gives to me. Um, hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel like things were not going as according to plans. Could have been canceled trips, canceled travel, okay, or like plans that you wanted to happen this year not happening. Okay, that was definitely for a reason. Okay, I definitely think that travel or lack thereof was very significant for y'all this year. And I definitely feel like for Leo, like so y'all could have canceled some type of trip. Okay, but I definitely feel as though this was about you not going with divine timing, all right, and you falling out with a certain like group, recognizing something wasn't like stable in the long term. Whatever the case may be, like justice definitely came to you. You received your justice. Okay, justice was served in some type of situation with like a this is multiple people. Okay, this is more than one person that y'all kind of like had to fall out with or kind of just had to stop hanging around just because like they were mirroring yourself to you. Okay, I feel like there was a level of childishness in yourself or just like hyperfixation or even just like hyperactivity, you wanted to do too much, you know what I'm saying? You even have to do with like the childishness, anger, okay, like ego, whatever the case may be. Okay, Niagara Falls could be significant. All right, Canada. New York State could be significant. Okay. Um, yeah. Also, New York University, NYU could be significant. Okay. But whatever the case may be, y'all, there's definitely like justice that was definitely served. Okay. I feel as though y'all recognize who was there for you, who wasn't. And I think that y'all kind of like bossed up about it. All right. I do think that y'all were getting yourselves together, getting yourselves more in financial balance. Okay. Juggling your finances definitely could have been a point this year. Okay. More than normal. But I definitely feel this, especially if you were dealing with like legal things, contract stuff, lease things. Okay. Bill shit. All right. But whatever the case may be, also some of y'all could have had to bail somebody out. That's significant here. But I definitely think that you falling out with some of these people, I definitely feel like y'all kind of came closer to somebody that you were supposed to. Okay. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, okay? Or this could also just have to do with the idea of y'all kind of got your head together. So with Casio by Jungle, I feel like something didn't work out, okay? When all your dreams are gone and you're still holding on, you know what I mean? So I feel like y'all, this was a kind of dramatic year for y'all. Something didn't happen the way that you wanted it to, okay? And I definitely feel like this also has to do with the fact it not happening at that time has to do with the type of people that you're around. You have to kind of get away from those energies, okay? Um, yeah. I also think that y'all's dreams in general, what it is that you think that you want, okay, is also very, very significant, or has been very, very significant for this group, okay? So let's see. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. All right. So for Leo, okay. I also think that y'all could have got deeper into like dancing, okay? Your social media presence, okay? Like I said, your popularity, okay? How you're being seen by people, when and where you're being seen by people was very, very significant for y'all this year, okay? And I definitely feel as though, like I said, you could have definitely been like very like throwback, okay, wearing like older styles, okay, or like shifting your style, doing something that other people think of as weird, okay? But let's see how we'll move all these up. Let's see how for Leo, uh, how y'all's winter went. Okay, we're gonna say that's from January, okay, into March, even though it's really December, but January into March. Okay, what was winter like for Leo? Okay, especially because Aquarius season is opposing. Y'all got environment. Okay, so January through March, winter of 2025 for Leo, y'all definitely could have moved. I just seen 1212. That could have been something. Some of y'all may have moved in like December, okay, or like the beginning of winter in 2024. But whatever the case may be, I definitely think that y'all's environment, the space you live in, the house you live in, the city that you live in, the state, there could have been some sort of large move. Okay, or some of y'all could have like went back to campus or like whatever the case may be. Let me put that shit right here. Okay. But now is a good time to clear, clean, and declutter your environment. Okay. So I definitely feel as though y'all could do like a big like winter cleaning. Okay. Or like, New Year, new me vibes. Okay. You could have like did a big closet clean, got rid of stuff. You know what I mean? And I definitely think that some of the stuff you got rid of was like keeping you back from moving forward. Okay. Or maybe like the environment that you were in. Okay. The people that were there. Okay. That was a problem in regards to keeping you like moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that wintertime was a good time for you to clear, clean, and declutter your environment. You could have definitely been cleansing. Okay, like magically, spiritually, okay, or physically, actually like cleansing. Okay, organizing your environment. Okay, yeah, yeah. Some of y'all could have been doing a remodel. Okay, some of y'all could have definitely developed different habits. Okay, with your cleaning schedule, cleansing schedule. Okay, especially around Aquarius season. Okay, yeah. I just feel like shit got clearer than you liked it to. Than you wanted it to at that point in time. I feel like y'all were just like moving so fast paced, okay, that your environment was kind of starting to suffer. All right. But let's see what was happening during the springtime. Okay, so which makes perfect sense. Okay, from March to June. All right. Springtime, y'all got spiritual teacher. I say it makes sense because we had those eclipses that were happening around that time. Okay. So with number 20, spiritual teacher, during springtime, you were being guided to step into your role as a spiritual teacher. Okay. So springtime for Leo, there definitely could have been some people around you. Hi, Jay. Welcome in, honey bun. There definitely could have been some people around you, all right, Leo, during springtime that were learning from you, all right? Y'all were guided to step into your role as a spiritual teacher during the springtime, okay? For some of y'all, this could have been you finding a spiritual teacher or really like getting to know a spiritual teacher a lot deeper, okay? For some of y'all, this could be a healer, a tarot reader, a practitioner, okay? A guru of some kind, I don't know. But there, you could have like started locking into somebody else's collective, okay? For some of y'all, you're a reader yourself, okay? But otherwise, this could definitely just be like you people learning large lessons from you, okay? Like you shifted and cleansed your environment, okay? And I feel like that kind of opened up new gifts for yourself, okay? And opened you up clear to how important that you are to the ecosystem around you. I think you're recognizing how much you teach the environment around you, okay? So I think that as you cleansed and cleared your energy in that first part of the year, okay, the second part of the year became more apparent what your personal purpose here on Earth was, and y'all could definitely been working with other people. Y'all could be working with kids, okay, or just people who were in need of your knowledge. You know what I mean? So let's see what's going on. What happened during summer? Okay, so from June into September, what happened during summertime? Okay, so connection. Okay, so Leo, this wasn't like a bad year for y'all, but this is a year that y'all would be like annoyed with. This was not a bad year, but this was definitely just something to where you didn't get what you want when you wanted it, and you kind of like were a little pissy about it. You know what I'm saying? Like the wheel was not turning in your favor this year, so there was shit that you had planned that simply just did not work out. A lot of it. You got irritated. Okay. And then you try to be sneaky about some shit like spirit can't see you. Okay, I don't know. This could have definitely been a big thing during summertime. Okay, so from June into September, all right. Check marks could be significant. Someone could have got verified. There's something about what. Okay, summertime could have definitely been a networking time. It says connection. You are very connected to the heavenly realms, but that also gives me like connections, like networking to other people. I definitely think that summertime could have been a big time for Leo placements to network, to get to know other people. Okay, y'all definitely, mind you, Leo seasons during summertime. Y'all definitely could have experienced some vanity. Okay. During the summertime, all right, y'all definitely may have been focused on the wrong shit during summertime. Okay, more focused on like who it is that you know versus your connection to spirit. But other than that, I do think that your connection to spirit got closer. Okay, but I feel like that's not what you were looking for, like that. You know what I'm saying? But your connection to spirit got much closer. Okay, like I said, so you cleanse your environment. Some of y'all just started with like a big move, a new apartment, a new home, a new city, like a new, I don't know, for some of y'all, new major even, I don't know, but y'all came into like a new environment, did some shit, did some big shit, okay? And that opened you up to like what you're capable of, okay? And that further opened you up to deeper connection with spirit, okay, during the summertime. All right, but during the summer, y'all was super like locked in, okay? But that also means that there was a bunch of like spiritual lessons that were coming through for y'all during the summertime, okay? I definitely feel like y'all were forced to let go of bad habits, okay? Y'all were forced to let go of bad habits, okay? And y'all were forced to like let go of shit that just like that you were holding on to. Okay, I do feel as though y'all were holding on to a lot in a very, this kind of gives like throw a fit energy. Okay, what was also, I definitely feel y'all could have definitely been dressed. Okay, I definitely could have been dressed this year. Okay, like I said, y'all did something very different with your style, and it just like worked for you. Okay, throwback feels. All right, so let's see what's going on. Y'all also could have had like a lot of like wisdom imparted onto y'all this year that you weren't looking for. Okay. Definitely. Like I said, this is y'all being forced to grow up in a way that you didn't necessarily want to this year. Okay, so let's see what happened during fall. It's currently fall when I'm filming this, okay, but from September into December 21st, okay. Yeah, y'all, this was a really solid year. These are all upright too. The only thing, like, y'all just would not think it was the best year, but honestly and truly, this has to do with being dramatic. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This has to do with a little bit of drama. I could have been sick this year too. Anyway, but 66, okay, hibernation, okay. I also definitely feel as though a lot of y'all may have like took a break during this year from like intimacy with people. Okay, I definitely could have took a break from like dating per se, or like sleeping with folks. But for Leo, the fall, which is September to December 21st, which is right now, okay, during this fall, this is perfect time, hibernation. Your soul needs time alone for meditation and rest, okay? So what Leos are experiencing right now, okay, from Libra season into the rest of Sagittarius season, this is the need for y'all to like hibernate. You know what I'm saying? This is the need for y'all to chill out. And honestly and truly, this might be something that continues a little bit, okay, into into January. Okay, this might be something that continues into January. Okay, like y'all may be kind of put on like a little mini break until we get over to that solar eclipse in Aquarius. We are going to be activated again. Okay, but between now and like yeah, like near to February, like this is definitely a time for y'all to take a break. Okay, so yeah, y'all are definitely in alignment with the seasons right now. Okay, this is not a bad year. This was literally just you having to like grow up or you kind of like recognizing that like something just wasn't happening just because it wasn't happening. This was a good year. Like y'all are much more psychically inclined and spiritually connected than you were before. But right now, during the fall from September to December 21st, your soul needs time by yourself. Okay, this is giving me hermit energy. Okay, for meditation and rest. All right, so y'all need to be going to bed. What y'all experience during this point in time is going to sleep. Okay, being so tired, being sleepy, not really wanting to go out like that, hanging out with less and less people. You know what I'm saying? Like recuperating, redoing what it is that you got to do. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and see what the biggest lesson that Leo learned during 2025 was before we move forward. What's the biggest lesson that Leo learned during 2025? Y'all got Yemoja. Okay, Starseed in reverse. Okay, so what I can definitely say about this, okay, y'all definitely could feel connected to the Cancer reading, okay, or some of y'all could have fell out with the Cancer. Y'all could fell with a water sign, but especially a Cancer, okay, and then after that, especially a Scorpio. But I definitely feel as though this year, the biggest lesson with this being Starseed, this was y'all not connecting to your spiritual gifts, okay? The biggest lesson, and you're still learning it, which is why you're still in hibernation right now, which is why this is in reverse. The biggest lesson is that you cannot ignore who it is that you were meant to be. Okay, the biggest lesson you learned in 2025 was that everything is not about how you want it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is not about when you want things to happen all the time. And sometimes we have to just kind of like let shit happen when it does and focus on what we need to focus on right now. Okay. And so I think that y'all were trying to not be as connected into spirit as you are, you know, and that just simply was not working. Okay. The biggest lesson came from I feel like y'all, like I said, y'all were around people that you ain't had no business being around. You know what I'm saying? Or like people who are no longer supposed to be a part of this. Also could have been you falling out with family with that 10 of Pentacles over shit like money. Okay, but Yemoja, okay, Starseed in reverse, okay. Um, Yemoja represents the ancient star beings who are coded with DNA to understand sound frequencies and return memories to those who are ready to activate their cosmic memory. Okay, so when this card appears, it's time to be an active co-creator. All right. So what I feel like y'all's biggest lesson was, y'all's biggest lesson is like who you actually are. Y'all are definitely, like I said, Casio's like throwback energy. Okay, like has that old sound. Y'all are definitely older souls. Okay, y'all have like all this knowledge, but y'all were not trying to tap into that shit this year until you were forced to tap into that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that your biggest lesson was just recognizing the gifts that you actually do hold, but that requires you to mature. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this was y'all pretending like you weren't ready to activate your cosmic memory. All right, y'all were not trying to be active co-creators. Y'all were trying to be the only creator. You know what I'm saying? And not really work with spirit for what they were trying to do, but like it happened anyway. Okay, and you got more comfortable with that towards like the rest, like the middle to the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Springtime into now, okay, especially spring and summer was definitely that time where you were developing that. All right, so I also feel as though your biggest lesson has to do with like who it is that you listen to, what it is that you listen to, as well as like music is very, very, very significant. Okay, yeah, how things sound is very, very significant for y'all. Okay, so yeah, y'all's biggest lesson has to do with you not recognizing who the fuck you really are. You know what I'm saying? And like trying to be a co-creator, needing to be a co-creator with the universe and wanting to be the only creator. Okay, and that's just not how that works. Okay, so thank you so much to Leo Placements. Like I said, thank y'all for leaving me a comment. Okay, thank y'all for letting me know what y'all's top song, what y'all's favorite song 2025 was. All right, thank y'all for hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out. Okay, on new videos, and thank y'all for hitting that subscribe button. Okay, let's become kinfolk. Let's be kin. Okay, so thank y'all. Virgo. Virgo. Hi, Virgo. Welcome in. Okay, thank y'all for hitting that like button. Thank y'all for hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out when I post new videos. And thank y'all for leaving a comment down below about what your favorite song from 2025 was. Okay, all these songs came from my Apple Music replay for 2025. All right. So Virgo, y'all's channel song for how 2025 went for y'all was Spaghetti. Okay, Spaghetti. All right, by Beyonce. Virgo energy. I had a Virgo-y ass year, and the reason you had a Virgo-y ass year was why? Because we had them Pisces and Virgo ass eclipses. Okay, so this was an eclipsical ass year. Virgo, y'all were getting tagged. Okay, y'all were getting tagged this year, so you may have felt like this was a very, very, very like transformational and like changeable year. Some of y'all could have redecorated and kind of like made your space more luxurious or feel more luxurious, okay? The holidays this year could have been very, very significant. I could have done some different shit for the holidays, okay? That's where we're at right now in general. But I definitely feel as though for Spaghetti by Beyonce, also, y'all definitely want to watch the Cancer reading and the Pisces reading, okay? Because the Cancer reading was also a Beyonce song, okay? And the Pisces reading was also a Beyonce song. Okay, so y'all could definitely resonate with those placements. But I definitely want to say that with Spaghetti, okay, all the same to me, plain Jane Spaghetti. Okay, y'all, this was a year where y'all were literally having to like stand up for yourself and put motherfuckers in place. I'm not gonna lie, y'all had to kind of talk y'all shit during this year. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I feel like people was definitely playing with you. Okay, I feel like people was definitely playing with you. People didn't think that you had like the knowledge or the background or the history on something. Okay, and I feel like this was a year of you having to just like, you know, like you just like set boundaries. You set very, very clear boundaries this year. Okay, with people. Okay, country cunty. Okay, I definitely all the same to me playing Jane Spaghetti. Like this is y'all taking y'all's attention back from people. Okay, like I feel like y'all kind of clocked out of something at some point in time. Okay, I'm looking at this salt, this quality salt. Okay, I feel like y'all definitely had people who were like mad at y'all. Okay, I definitely feel like y'all had people salty for sure. For sure. I also feel as though y'all definitely were changing the way in which you eat. Okay, which makes sense in general. Okay, I definitely feel like food was a big thing. I could have started having a different dietary situation this year. Okay, sunflowers could be significant, sunflower oil. I also feel as though people definitely seen y'all in a way they've never seen you before this year. Okay, y'all definitely, some of y'all could have came out in some type of way or just like popped out different. You know what I'm saying? Like people never see you come like this. Okay, this year, and I definitely feel as though I ain't in no game, but I got to and I bang bang. Okay, I definitely think that this year, like, you recognize who was really riding for you. Okay, I definitely feel as though y'all was recognizing who was really a part of your, like, your team, both living and in spirit. Okay, and who was not on your team, both living and in spirit. Yeah. Switzerland could be significant. I think about Swiss Beats. Okay, who was on that track? Okay, I ain't in a game, but I got feels and I bang bang. At the tip of my finger, at the snap of my finger, I'm Thanos. Okay, Thanos could be significant. Okay, uh, yeah. Marvel Universe could be significant. Okay. Hmm. And I'm still at the top of your head. Cornrows. For when y'all hair could have been looking real good this year too. Okay. But I definitely think that y'all had people bothered. Okay. That's the biggest thing here is that this was definitely a year for Virgo to where y'all definitely had people bothered. Okay. Like people ain't never seen you come this way. Okay, this the way that y'all were like sitting, like y'all's confidence in everything. Okay, y'all's confidence in everything simply just like changed. Okay, I definitely feel as though y'all were like highly sought after or desired. Okay, during 2025. Okay, with this devil energy, I definitely feel as though y'all are also very much so working. All right, I was definitely doing some work. All right, during 2025, some of y'all could have dealt with some heaviness. Okay, this could deal with addiction. Okay, or this could deal with like a person. For some of y'all, this has to do with like a heavy relationship. Okay, for some of y'all, this has to even do with y'all exploring things deeper. Okay, into like the B's, the D's, the S's, and the M's. Okay, the song S&M by Rihanna could definitely be very, very significant. Okay, that also gives me for y'all to watch that Pisces reading. Okay, I definitely feel as though some of y'all could have felt trapped in something. Okay, like it could be a relationship to where stuff was just very like heavy. Okay, and honestly and truly, like y'all were definitely keeping some sort of like secrets surrounding like family dynamics, okay, and like maybe like quietly making a decision. Okay, I kind of had to quietly make a decision if you wanted to still deal with some sort of heavy ass energy. It could be a person, a substance, okay. But yeah, I do think that this was definitely one of those times, okay. Um, mm-hmm. House of the moon. House of the moon. Outlaws with me. They gonna shoot. Break the rule. Is that spaghetti? Am I tripping? That's not the same song. But is it? But what I can say is I definitely feel as though y'all were definitely more to yourself. This was a year that you ended up, okay, learning about who you should and who you should not be around, okay? Look, there's that Queen of Pentacles. Y'all was in y'all Queen of Pentacles energy this year. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, okay? There's that Capricorn energy, okay? And there's that Virgo. Y'all were hard working this year, okay? Y'all definitely was trying to get shit done, looking at long-term things, even if it was difficult, okay? I feel like there was something weighing you down or somebody weighing you down, but this was you decorating a home, becoming a homemaker. Okay, it could even be you like cooking more at home. All right, like I said, decorating, things of that nature. All right, but doing things differently. All right, than usual. Listen, we have all this earth sign energy, so your money and your finances was a big thing. Money and finance was a huge thing for y'all um during 2025. Okay. I also feel as though y'all had some shifts in like your religious beliefs, possibly your spiritual beliefs. All right. A lot of y'all were definitely, y'all became very clear with the way that you were communicating with people. I also feel like if you're a practitioner, okay, so if you're somebody who does magic, okay, y'all's magic was very, very clear. Okay. Like learning how to take care of yourself. I want to learn a little bit more about that, what that devil energy is. Whatever you thought about originally, that's exactly what that is. Okay. So whatever this devil is, whatever that devil is has to do with like something that your intuition told you. Okay, so what it is that you needed to be free from has to do with like somebody that goes against like your personal beliefs, psychic beliefs, spiritual beliefs. Okay, whatever the case may be, especially if this is a man or a masculine, for someone else is a husband. Okay, somebody who's childish and bad with money. Okay, that could be very, very significant. You could definitely be moving on from this person. All right, especially if you're in this person. I don't know. There's just some heaviness there. All right, I definitely think that with spaghetti, like y'all recognize who is just not meant to be around you. Okay, who's just not meant to be around you. This also includes friends. Like maybe there's a whole friendship situation. Also has to do with infidelity, cheating. Okay, and on a not cheaty scale, it has to do with like it could do with like I actually no. This is just giving like fallouts with friends, cancel celebrations, cancel wedding, cancel engagement, cancel party. Okay, fallouts. All right, like cheating. Okay, also could have to do with like group activities, okay, intimacy with multiple people, okay, no judgments. I'm just saying I could have to do with that because I can't say it on YouTube, you know. But with that Three of Pentacles, I definitely feel as though by the end of the year, y'all definitely have figured out who and what you are supposed to work with, and as soon as you let go of whatever that influence was that your intuition knows, okay, shit got better for you, okay, yeah, y'all walked away from a conflict, okay. Like maybe business and pleasure was involved together for Virgo, and y'all was like, you know what? Y'all have to set some boundaries, okay? Because y'all definitely are still on people's minds, okay? Definitely people were tugging and pulling, all right? And people definitely seen you come differently. They ain't never seen you come like this, okay? Like you spoke with people in a way that they weren't expecting you to speak with them, okay? So let's see what was going on for Virgo during the winter time, okay? And winter energy is, for now, we're going to say January through March. Okay, so I definitely feel as though there was definitely some truth revealed for y'all during the winter time. Okay, and I think that y'all may have had to like reset. Okay, so during January through March could have definitely been like an interesting time for yourself. Okay, one card please. All right, y'all got Mirror in reverse. Okay, so y'all got number 56. Let me move these up. I got number 56. Okay, in reverse, Mirror. All right, and this card says everything that is happening in your external life is a reflection of your inner world, but in reverse, I feel like everything that's happening in your internal world is a reflection of your outer life. Is how I'm gonna switch it. Okay, so I definitely feel as though I don't know. I just feel as though y'all kind of similar to Leo, okay? In the way of I feel like y'all there were people around you who kind of showed you aspects of yourself that you didn't like, okay, during the winter. Okay. I feel like there was definitely some like negative mirroring going on, okay. Or what you would think of as negative mirroring. Okay, I'm not gonna say that it's like negative in general, but I definitely feel as though hmm I also think that you were taking on other people's energies, taking on other people's emotions, and kind of thinking that because somebody else was going through something, that inherently meant that you had to go through it too. Okay, I do think that you were kind of giving like a bit too much of your energy to people. Okay, I think this is like something people pleasing is something that y'all struggle with. Okay, and I definitely feel as though like your limiting beliefs were highlighted to you through some of the people that were around you. You could have also at the beginning of the year dealt with some self love issues. Okay, or like maybe not feeling the most attractive or like whatever the case may be. Okay, so let's see what is going on. What went on during. Also, I feel like y'all could have experienced a little bit of bad luck during the first part of the year from January through March. Okay, I don't know. Y'all could have definitely just been feeling like shit was not going the way that you personally wanted it to, especially during Capricorn season, during like January. Okay, where that heaviness was. All right, I definitely feel as though y'all may have gone through like a little bit of like an existential crisis a little bit at the beginning of the year. Okay, so let's see what's going on during springtime. Okay, from March to June. Okay. Oh, here we go. A lot of y'all, even before I look at this, it's landed on like my charger cord. Okay, I do think that like recharging had a lot to do with y'all's springtime. Okay, I think that especially because we had those eclipses. Okay, so they were still in the Pisces Virgo axis at that time. Okay, so springtime definitely had y'all like needing to recharge, or like there was a lot of energy expended at that point in time. Okay, some of y'all could have also gotten deeper into like being seen. Okay, social media could be significant. We have number 28, boundaries in reverse. You're learning the gentle art of setting boundaries and saying no. Okay, but in reverse, okay, so this was like, see, y'all still weren't like, I think that this was a time period where you started to shift and change, okay, your boundaries with people. Virgo, I think that this has to do with like you're learning the gentle art of setting boundaries and saying no. I think that you kind of grapple back and forth with your ability to say yes and no, okay, and with you setting boundaries, like I said, like you started talking to people a little bit different, okay, that kind of started up in the springtime, okay, but I still feel like you were kind of like letting people like walk over you, especially when it came down to like money and like finances, work, job, career, and shit like that. Like I feel like this was you either not learning boundaries at all, or maybe like being aggressive with your boundaries. Okay, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Okay, but I definitely think that this was one of those things. Someone could be 28. Okay, what was going on during the summer? Okay, that's June through September. Okay. What's going on for the summertime? Summertime was very eventful for y'all. Okay. Summertime definitely could have felt like there was chapters to it. All right. Y'all are summer babies, so that makes sense as well. So yeah, between June and September, 47. Okay. Universal mind. You're about to receive the solution to your problem or concern. Okay. So shit started to look up, okay, during summertime. All right. Especially as you got to Virgo season when we had the eclipses. Okay, late summer. But I definitely feel as though during summertime, y'all received the solution to your problem or concern, or this was the idea of shit started to feel a bit easier for you at that moment in time. All right. And I think that your problem or concern had to do with the people that were around you, okay, or feeling unsupported by certain people, okay, or feeling just like there were way too many people like in your head, okay, way too many people in your energy, all right, and just kind of feeling chained and trapped to your situation. Yeah, I just feel like some of the people around you were just like not suitable to be around you. That's what that Three of Cups is, like falling out with people, not having boundaries with friends, not having boundaries with the people in your house, people in your life, okay? Relationship, not having boundaries, you know what I'm saying? I definitely, I definitely, hi. I definitely think that also dogs could be significant for Virgo. Yeah, I definitely could have got a dog during the fall, okay? We got a pet during the fall. I definitely think that y'all's relationships could have also been super, super significant during fall as well. And I think that y'all received a solution about what it is that you should do or should have done about your relationships. Okay, during the fall, friendships as well. Okay, work partnerships, friendships, and relationships, but especially friendships and like romantic relationships. Okay, so yeah, like universal mind. This was you like thinking about. This was you during summertime. You recognize that the people around you were not thinking in a similar way as you. Like y'all wasn't on the same page. Okay, this is you recognizing that you and some folks was not on the same page. Okay, and you really got a sense of clarity with them eclipses, okay, about what to do. Them Pisces and Virgo eclipses, okay. You definitely want to watch the Pisces reading, okay. And I definitely think that for the fall, from September to December 21st, okay, your fears are keeping you from moving forward into the life that you deserve, okay. Your fears are keeping you from moving forward into the life that you deserve, but in reverse. This is y'all getting past fear, okay. So from September to December, okay. The name Queen could be significant. Okay, I think that you're also no longer being scared about like finding your group of people, finding your tribe. Okay, that word is very specific. Okay, this is you like no longer being scared about like talking to people, getting to know people, putting yourself out there, because like you already knew, you found out in the springtime about what happens when you let people cross your boundaries, because you definitely let somebody cross your boundaries during spring, okay. And then during summer you found your mind, you know what I'm saying, you found the solution to your problem of people like taking advantage. Like maybe y'all had issues with crossing people's boundaries, okay, Virgo, maybe y'all was doing too much, and I feel like that was being mirrored to you. You were meeting people who were also boundary crossers, or people with weak boundaries themselves, you know what I'm saying. And I feel like that was a lot going on. So I definitely think that during fall, okay, which is right now whenever I'm filming this, during fall, this fear card, okay, this is you releasing yourself from fear. Fall, your fears are no longer keeping you from moving forward into the life that you deserve, okay? Your fears are no longer keeping you forward into the life that you deserve, okay? So I definitely think that like Virgos are entering into 2026 like fearless, okay. Y'all are entering in 2026 definitely change from the lessons that you learned in 2025, okay. And you're no longer like, so the life that you deserve is in 2026, okay. Your fears are no longer keeping you from moving forward into the life that you deserve in 2026, okay. So I think that you literally like let the fuck go of somebody, okay. Y'all definitely let go of like some people in your life that just like had you fucked up. I don't know, that just had you fucked up. Okay, and this is y'all no longer being scared. All right. So let's see the biggest lesson that y'all learned. Okay, biggest lesson that Virgo learned. Okay, during 2025. Okay, y'all learned when to act. Okay, and when to just kind of like let shit happen. Okay, so y'all have spirit. Y'all have act in reverse. Okay. So I definitely, this always gives me the Ace of Wands vibes. Okay, Aries, Leo, Sag energy. All right. I definitely think the biggest lesson, y'all could have learned a lot through a fire sign person or a fiery individual. Y'all could have learned, y'all's biggest lesson could have came from somebody who was like hypersexual. Aries, Leo, Sag placement energy could be significant, or just somebody who feels like they're super creative, but like they're like not, okay, or just somebody like kooky, wonky, okay, like whatever the case may be. This is definitely also has to do with like somebody who's just like their ego is a thing, all right. So for Virgo, the biggest lesson that y'all learn also has to do with like romance, okay, intimacy, okay, like kisses and touches and things of that nature. All right. I definitely feel that. This also has to do like with your creativity. All right. Yeah. Leo energy could have been significant in Sagittarius. Leo season and Sagittarius season could have definitely been very, very significant for you. We're in Sagittarius season right now, okay? But I'm definitely just saying, all right? Also, Pretty Little Liars could also be very, very significant, okay? It's a spirit in reverse. The biggest lesson for y'all is like what happens when like you don't trust in yourself and trust in spirit as well, okay? I definitely feel as though they were trying to like with that universal mind as well. They were definitely trying to like show you like the way. And I know that y'all be trying to sometimes control like the outcome, but you can't, you know? So it says, at least for this being in reverse, okay? Beyond the plans in your head, the slip shows up when the ethereal needs to become physical. Okay, so yeah, the biggest lesson has to do with like y'all taking your spiritual gifts and putting them more into physical, okay, and tapping into that universal energy. All right. Split people thrive on challenges, just like Aries of the zodiac. Okay, so I definitely feel like this is like Aries, Leo, Sag energy. Okay. Um, I definitely think this is like Aries, Leo, Sag energy. All right. I definitely think that y'all's biggest lesson could have also came from like a man or a masculine or somebody who's just hyper masculine in some type of way. Okay. The crystal castle in the background shows that this is a time for doing and no longer thinking. Okay. Yeah. Uh, I think that y'all are kind of being nice about certain shit and that you shouldn't have, okay? The smoke clouds clear, all right, this year, signifying strength, great sensual power, and psychic energy. That was your biggest lesson about what happens when things are cloudy, okay? What happens when, like, people take your kindness for weakness, and what happens whenever someone's, like, sexual power, sensual power is used for, like, the wrong reasons or in the wrong way, okay? This card could indicate upcoming travel and fewer restrictions in your everyday life. The biggest, but this is in reverse, so this feels like the biggest message here, the biggest lesson had to do with like maybe like doing too much, okay, being too many places, okay, certain trips and travel you shouldn't have took with people, okay, and like a bunch of restrictions in your day-to-day life, okay, um, or like not having enough restrictions in your day-to-day life. All right, that's the biggest lesson. Swift types are known to bring enthusiasm to every situation. Everything is not funny. I feel like that's the biggest lesson here, is that like everything is not a joke, everything is not like lighthearted, okay? And I definitely feel as though you kind of got away from your mundane self, your daily task, okay? You kind of got away from like those things, you know what I mean? And I feel like stuff kind of got challenging. All right. And I also feel as though y'all learned a big lesson about substance use as well, when it came down to like smoking or something of that nature. That could have been a big thing as well. Okay. So, with that being said, I hope that 2025 was a solid year for y'all. Okay. Virgo, thank y'all for hitting the like button. Thank y'all for leaving a comment about what your favorite song for 2025 was, as well as thank y'all for hitting the notification bell and that subscribe button. Okay, so you don't miss out whenever I post new videos like this one. Okay, let's become kinfolk. Let's get into it. Okay, thank you. Libra, welcome in, Libra. Okay. Um, uh, for one, thank y'all so much for hitting that thumbs up. Thank y'all for hitting that subscribe button and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss out when I post new videos. Okay. And thank y'all for leaving a comment down below about what your favorite song from 2025 was. Okay. As all these songs came from my um, Apple Replay 2025. Okay, so y'all got Workout by J. Cole. Okay, so Aquarius energy could be very, very significant for y'all. Y'all can have Aquarius placements or Gemini placements. Okay, those readings could be significant for y'all. Yeah, okay, the Carolinas could be significant, North Carolina, South Carolina. Okay, I definitely feel as though this year could have been a year to where the South is significant. This year could have been a year where you like went back home. Okay, something about going back home. A trip back home could have been very, very significant, or like to your part of the state or your part of the country, could have been significant, or just like going back home to your part of the world, even, okay, to go visit. I definitely think that with Workout, okay, this is also a Kanye West sample, so that Gemini energy is very, like, very, very strong here. Okay, I may have been dealing with Gemini. You can have Gemini placements, or that reading could be very significant for y'all. Ooh, confirmation. The Gemini reading is definitely very significant for Libra. Okay. I definitely think that y'all were very inspired this year, okay? I definitely think that y'all were very, very inspired during 2025, okay? Y'all could have definitely got back into your a workout routine, okay? Y'all could have definitely got back in the gym or whatever the case may be, started focusing more on like your physical health, all right? But this could also be y'all getting back into like your creativity, okay? And just like being inspired by maybe like other people around you, okay? Kind of like motivating you to do the things that you love. All right, that could have definitely been very, very significant for you. All right, I feel like this year kind of felt very nostalgic. This could have felt like 2012. This could have felt like 2016. You know what I'm saying? Like, take it as it resonates. Okay. Yeah, I definitely think that your relationships could have also been a little bit strenuous this year. Okay. 2025 could have been a little off in the relationship sector, in a dating sector. Okay. And we got a good thing. Don't know if I'ma see you again. Is that a good thing? Okay, because I just seen Nine of Cups in reverse, didn't fully, but I think that temporary relationships, okay, or just like short-term relationships, or just like flings, okay, definitely could have messed some shit up this year, okay. Don't know if they just didn't make you happy. It's like overindulgence, okay. Maybe there was a lot of like drinking and smoking and partying and like, imbalance, just doing shit just to do shit. And we got a good thing. Don't know if I'ma see you again. And is that a good thing? Because, girl, I can't be your man. I think that during 2025, a lot of y'all kind of recognize what it is that you're looking for in like the long term. But I feel like maybe somebody here tried to move a little bit faster. Girl, I can't be your man. No, ma'am. Y'all could have got like somebody could have got broken up with or like dumped in some type of way, or like there was some sort of breakup, separation, cutting off situation that came here. Okay, because somebody was like not really down for a commitment like maybe you felt like they were. Okay, this could have been you. All right, Libra. This could have been somebody else. So there was somebody who's not super down for a commitment. Okay, girl, I can't be your man. This gets like a commitment issues, flightiness. Okay, no, ma'am. Well, is it on your brain? You probably hope it never would end. Is it a real thing? Yeah. Let me see you go high and go low. Now, girl, won't you drop that thing down to the floor? I feel like this could have been definitely a, like, to be honest with y'all, like a very, like, SEGG, unhealthy year. Okay? I don't think that, like that your intimate life was the healthiest, okay? When whatever way that means, okay? Like, maybe, like, you weren't doing stuff for the right reasons, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe, like, you were filling a void. Like, maybe you were sad, you know what I'm saying? So you was just, you know, and as soon as I say that, that Nine of Cups came up again in that tower. Yeah, the Pursuit of Happiness. Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi could be significant. He's also an Aquarius, y'all. That reading is very significant for you. Okay, whenever I post it. Okay, it should be tomorrow. But because that'll be part 3. But I definitely feel as though, let me see you get hot, then go low. And a girl, once you drop that thing down to the flow. Y'all was kind of more worried about like having fun is what this feels like. I'm here for one night. How far will you go? I want to see you work out for me. Work out for me. Hot, then go low. Yeah, there's some sort of tower moment that happened because of your pursuit of happiness. Okay, the pursuit of happiness in some type of way, okay, led to a bunch of this. Okay, so this was definitely an emotionally like heavy like you had to walk away from somebody or someone had to walk away from you for sure. Okay, so abandonment issues could have been something that like was like woken up, all right, this year. All right. But I definitely think that with that Four of Pentacles in reverse, like I think that y'all recognizing that you were unhappy in some sort of situation, okay, and like shit was falling apart, but it's like you were trying to make it seem as though you were still happy. Four of Pentacles in reverse has a lot to do with like leading to like less stuff go. Y'all could have got rid of a bunch of clothes, okay. Um, yeah, y'all could have definitely been trying to mash shit up with some fun, okay. Uh, yeah, high, then go low. And I definitely think that during this year, okay, the eclipses could have got you too, especially the ones that happened during springtime, because one of those was in Aries or Libra. I can't remember which sign it was now, but now, girl, once you drop that thing down to the flow, I'm here for one night. How far will you go? I want to see you work out for me, work out for me. High, then go low. Now, girl, once you drop that thing down to the flow, here for one night, how far will you go? I want to see you work out for me, work out for me. Yeah. She like them boys with them big old chains, ride around town in the big old range. I knew it when I rock big old chains. Now I live doing big old things. Okay, this feels like kind of like a shallow year, y'all. I don't know. Something kind of fell apart because you were kind of going through things like you were kind of going for stuff on the surface, okay? Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this was kind of worried too much about how you look, how you look, or how somebody else looks. Okay, vanity could have definitely been something. Vanna White is significant. The Wheel of Fortune. All right, game shows. Y'all could have got lucky this year in that way. Okay, but I also just think that like y'all were more focused about the way things looked than the way things actually were. I do think that this was a year to where there was a lot of shadow that was coming up. Okay, a lot of shadow and a lot of stuff that you still don't have answers on, a lot of stuff that still hasn't been revealed yet. All right. But definitely like an emotionally interesting year, okay, to say the absolute least. Okay. Hmm. Mm. I knew it when I rock big old chains, now the love doing big old things. Would you look at that? I came back for it just to give it to you. Like, yeah, y'all's exes could have been significant this year. Man, that thing in them jeans too fat for a rebound, so I caught it off the backboard. This feels like exes and like extra marital stuff, and this feels like this is messy, y'all. This feels like ego and messiness, okay? That kind of like did a thing this year, all right? So there was some sort of tower that happened, all right? And with this moon card right here at the back of the deck, I feel as though this had to do with like, you know, Judgment Day, okay, having to make a judgment call, secrets being revealed, okay. I do think that a lot of y'all could have become single this year, okay. Something about that could be significant. I do think that this year was not the most like financially easy. It wasn't the financially easiest year of the year, you know, year of your years. Um, hmm, hmm. Yeah, being somebody's rebound could have been significant, or you finding rebound people could have been significant. Hmm. Lavender could be significant. Also gives me the movie Matilda. All right, so I do think that this was a very egoic year, okay? I'm not gonna lie. All right. I just strongly feel as though like this has to do with like shallow relationships, and this has to do with like you being worried about how things like look, okay? And like not how things actually are, okay? And I do think that there was like a lot of mystery. There was like some issues, okay? But I do think that like financially, okay, I do think you received some financial help this year, okay? And shit started looking up for you in a way that it hadn't before. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like I do think that divine timing kind of brought some shit down for you. Okay, because I do feel like, yeah, King of Wands and Injustice in Reverse, y'all may have been wrong as fuck at some point in time. Okay, I don't know. Y'all may have been wrong as fuck at some point in time. This could have to do with unconventional relationships. This could have to do with like, I don't know, cheating, whatever the case may be. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull from this intuitive life coaching oracle. Okay, I definitely think that this year y'all could have been practicing a lot more like magic. Okay, actual practice. Okay, it could be hoodoo. Okay, which is not magic, different practice, but that's close practice. But this could be energy manipulation in some way, shape, or form, regardless. Okay, but I definitely think that, let's see what is going on here for winter time. We'll say January through March. What happened January through March? Okay, for Libra. Okay, January through March. Okay, we have 51 in reverse, empath. You may be confusing other people's energy with your own. Okay, so I think that wintertime for this collective, okay, wintertime for the Libras was definitely one of those times to where I think that you were going through some sort of power struggle, okay, like trying to figure out like what signs were coming from spirit and what signs were coming from somebody else. I feel as though maybe I was like planning stuff for people, planning parties for people, doing a bunch of shit like that, you know what I'm saying, events, okay, and I do think that you kind of got overstimulated, but I definitely feel as though y'all could have been confusing other people's energy, like with your own. Okay. And also, y'all could have been confusing your own energy with other people's. I know that that sounds like the same thing, but it's not. Like, I kind of feel as though y'all may have like projected a little bit of your feelings onto other people and like just assuming that they feel that way. All right. But I do feel as though, I don't know. I feel like y'all may have been like ignoring the synchronicities about like where your feelings were coming from. Okay. I think that y'all were like a little bit overloaded. All right. But this could also just be you. I feel like the truth came out and y'all just were not trying to have that. Okay. About like somebody feeling the way they feel about you. You know what I'm saying? Or like somebody moving how they was moving with you. All right. But yeah. 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 I think that it's got kind of overdoing it a little bit. Okay. What was going on during springtime? Okay. So that is March through, um, that's March through June. Okay. But yeah, definitely springtime was eventful for y'all, which, like I said, that makes sense. Aries season, and we had one of those eclipses there, like the last of the Aries Libra eclipses. Okay. Old habits, okay, in reverse. Y'all, yeah, y'all were getting rid of old habits in the beginning of this year, okay? Confusing other people's energy with your own, okay, and just bad habits in general. I think y'all were getting like a reality check, okay? I'm hearing what is that? BP by Summer Walker. Okay, Aries energy with an Aquarius moon. You definitely need to watch that. Okay, I definitely think that springtime was one of those time periods where you just recognized that you couldn't let certain shit happen no more. Okay, especially like being like just letting other people's energy overtake yours. Okay, springtime, an old habit was no longer kept you from moving forward. Okay, this was you releasing old habits that were stopping y'all from moving forward. Okay, and that eclipse that happened during that point in time was also something that pushed that. Okay, and the old habit had a lot to do with you being an empath. Okay, y'all even went through like a dark night of the soul. Okay, y'all even went through a dark night of the soul, a midst of a spiritual awakening. All right, y'all were in the midst of a spiritual awakening during springtime. Okay, and y'all were coming out of that really because y'all were going through it during winter. But y'all literally like Y'all got better friends or like a better support team, okay? Y'all let old habits die hard and letting go of like people walking away, okay? Feeling okay to like walk away, okay, from certain shit. Especially when folks just like was falling out and shit was going down. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all could have gotten rid of like addictions, okay? Just bad habits in general, okay? Bad emotional habits is what this feels like more than financial, but like a little bit of financial, but this mostly feels like emotional, spiritual, psychic, romantic bad habits, okay? And like cycles, all right? So what was going on during summertime, okay? From June to September for Libra, okay? So y'all have nourishment in reverse, okay? You're being asked to take time out for self-care in reverse, okay? This is giving issues with nourishment, malnourishment, not getting the stuff that you need, okay? Y'all may have been overdoing it during the summertime, Libra. I'm not gonna lie. I think you overdid it. It was way too much drinking, way too much smoking, way too much clubbing, way too much partying, okay? Way too much sugar, not enough sleep, not enough self-care. You wasn't putting yourself in that bath like that. Okay, it was something like that. All right, y'all did not have the shit that you needed. Okay, or y'all felt like I didn't have the shit that you needed, whether that is literal like vitamins or literally like water. Okay, so yeah, y'all are being asked to take time out for self-care, and I feel like this was y'all not doing that. Okay, this could have been y'all overdoing it. Okay, over drinking, over partying, over smoking. Okay, not enough water, too many events. All right, this was one of them correction years. All right, all these being in reverse. This was definitely one of them correction years. All right, I do think that because like I said, y'all were eclipsed at some point too, you know, so I get that, but I strongly feel as though summertime from June to September was definitely like y'all were not taking life seriously enough, you know what I'm saying, like, and y'all were thinking of it as a positive thing, but y'all were honestly like, you know, y'all were kind of doing stuff just just off the cuff, not really thinking about shit like that. Okay, so summertime, there definitely could have been issues with the way that you was eating or what you was intaking. Okay, what was going on for Libras during the fall? Okay, which is right now. All right, but September through December 21st. Okay, so Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius season. All right, what is going on currently and what was going on during fall as a whole? Okay, yeah, all these. Okay, this was definitely one of those lesson-based years. Okay, I got number 7, universal flow. It is time for you to slow down, breathe, and take time to smell the roses. Okay, I forgot where this one came in. Okay, one of the other signs before Libra could have been very significant for you. But it is time for you to slow down, breathe, and take time to smell the roses. Okay, but this kind of feels like, uh, honestly and truly, like there's something that you're not fully recognizing yet. Okay, so I do think that the fall of 2025, September to December, is definitely one of those times where what you're experiencing is you still kind of want to be fast paced. Okay, you still kind of want things to go quicker than they are. You're not super tapped into that flow fully just yet. Okay, and I do think that the fall was just like the universe was like forcing you into stuff. Is what you felt like. You felt like the universe was forcing you into stuff, and that you don't really want to go with that flow. Okay, like that there you can recognize that there's like a mentor that you no longer want to be around. Okay, just cancel parties, cancel celebrations. This is stuff not going according to plan. To be super real with you, this is you being kind of upset during fall. Okay, so from September to December, y'all definitely could have experienced some like issues, you know, when it came down to like going with the flow. This could be you going against the current. All right, y'all are still kind of pressed against the current. That's why this tower moment has happened. Okay, yeah, y'all are moving way too fast. Okay, you aren't taking time to breathe. Okay, and you're trying to like, you want shit to be done without the work. All right, and honestly and truly, I think a lot of this has to do with you, like you're still in the midst of a spiritual awakening. Okay, this was a dark night of the soul type of year. Okay, and I do think that a lot of it has had to be like done with yourself. All right, because I just don't necessarily think that you were in the healthiest state this year, but this year was definitely a wake up call. Okay, this year was definitely a wake up call. And I do think that like January is going to be much different for y'all. All right. But in order for y'all to like speak your truth and say what you need to say, you have to understand what went on this year and what was happening. Cause I'm gonna be real, like at some point, you know, at some point, like y'all were not understanding. I quite honestly still don't feel like during the fall time, like y'all are still understanding. But I do think that by January, like you're going to recognize, all right, and your support team is being solidified, okay. The people that you are supposed to be around and hang around are going to be solidified. But I think that a lot of that has to do with y'all not seeing and not being for real, okay, in some type of way, all right. So yeah, there was just things where you broke a sweat this year. Okay, there was shadow work. This was a shadowy year, Libra. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. All right, so what's the biggest lesson that Libra learned during 2025? Okay, the biggest lesson that Libra learned, literally, I said that. Okay, but Antra Rita, okay, solitude. All right, so this has a lot to. This is the Virgo card. This is the Hermit card. Okay, so this was you having to be with yourself. Okay, picking up on people's energy, but like projecting your energy onto other people. You know what I'm saying? Having to let bad habits go, going out too much, being too many places. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the biggest lesson was when to stop. I may want to watch the Virgo reading if you feel called, okay? But this is knowing when to stop, when to like to chill out, when you don't need to be seen. Like I said, vanity was a thing. Everybody does not need to like how you look is not the biggest thing all the time, okay, Libra? Like I know that that's literally like a character flaw type of situation, okay? When it comes down to like Libra energy, Venusian energies, okay, in like an unbalanced or like a low vibration. Okay, but I'm telling y'all, like the biggest lesson that y'all learned was just to kind of like it's okay for y'all to be like out of the spotlight. It's okay for y'all to be like minding your business. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to mind your business. It's okay for people to not always be like checking for you. Like there's a deeper issue going on. Okay, I'm not saying not to people shouldn't be check up on you in general, but like checking for you is a whole different situation. Okay. And I definitely think that with that solitude, the biggest lesson that you learned was like when to stand alone, when to be by yourself, when to call your energy back, okay, and when to like not go ghost per se, but just kind of like, especially with social media, is what this feels like, okay. So the biggest lesson y'all learned during 2025, salt cleanses Antarita's energy as they pass from community to isolation. The biggest thing that y'all have to do was about other people's energy, okay, going from community to isolation, not going out as much, not hanging out as much, not being around so many people, needing to be with yourself, needing to cleanse and clear because y'all was feeling like other people's energy. Y'all was getting messed up, okay? A plant beside the door aids naturally in their purification, okay? I do think that y'all also, the biggest lesson y'all learned about like taking care of your daily habits, taking care of yourself, your home, cleansing it, okay? Gardening could be significant for reflection. Antarita requires solitude. When this card appears, it's time for you to take some time to be alone, okay? 2025 was required solitude, okay? 2025 was time for you to take some time to be alone in order to unlock something in your subconscious mind. Okay, you have to grow up. It is time to awaken. 2025 was a time to awaken the inner world with the outer world by dream walking, astral traveling, and meditating. The biggest lesson was you having to get back into your spiritual practices and focusing less on like being outside. The lesson this card brings is that although we may be a community of the same, we must each walk our own path alone. This is the card for taking a risk during 2025 and doing what you truly wanted to do. There's no way to tell for sure what lies ahead in 2026, okay, because the salt lamp only lights so much of the way, but when held close, it illuminates your inner heart space fully. So, yeah, this is not about the future. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the biggest lesson is to stop worrying so much about, like, the future and like be present in the right now, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of like focus on your healing and your heart chakra opening right now. Y'all had a big ass heart chakra opening, okay. Especially around Virgo season could have been significant with these eclipses. If Antra Rita has shown up in your cards today, 2025 was time to recharge in no one's company but your own, which is why you was falling out with people, which is why people wasn't responding back to you. You need to learn how to be by yourself, okay? And to not need to be stimulated by the outside like that all the time. No one else could join you on your inner work, okay? No one else could join you in your inner work in 2025, but you were always on the lookout for a guide, a spiritual teacher, okay? Or oracles, okay? So yeah, I definitely think that y'all's biggest lesson, y'all could have got a very significant reading, okay? They could have been a reader, an oracle, a psychic, someone who told you something very significant, or somebody who just is a spiritual teacher, even if they're not into like the esoteric like that, all right? And I definitely feel as though you may or may not have taken that well. But a journey of self-discovery was upon you during 2025, backed by your ancestors' vibrations and your higher self, okay? Y'all needed to ask yourself this year, during 2025, was Libra afraid of the silence in Libra's head, okay? Were y'all afraid of the silence in your head? Was y'all afraid what would happen if you just like sat down, you didn't have to go out, you didn't have to do this, you didn't have to smoke, you didn't have to drink, you didn't have to do all that, you know what I'm saying? Were you finding excuses to not meditate as a way to avoid your solitude? Like, were you picking out reasons why you shouldn't be at home handling and doing the shit that you got to do, or like reading or like journaling or doing what you want, you know, like getting your shit together? Like, that's one of those situations that you have to ask, like, why wasn't those things happening, and why was it so hard? You know, even if you feel like you had other shit together, like your routine, like there was personal shadow work that was not being done. Okay, so this was not the easiest year for y'all. This is definitely a towery year. Okay, major changes definitely went down. Okay, but it is literally okay, Libra. uh Things are going to get better in January, okay? Especially around that eclipse that we're going to have, okay, in Aquarius, that solar eclipse in Aquarius on February 17th. But Libra, thank y'all so much for being here. I fucks with y'all the long way. Thank y'all for giving me a like. Thank y'all for hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so y'all can become kinfolk and I won't miss out on another reading. Yeah, and thank y'all for leaving me a comment down below, Libra, about what song was your favorite song from 2025? As all these songs came from my Apple Music replay. Okay, I focused out a long way. Thank you. And we're gonna go ahead and get into Scorpio. Hello, Scorpio. Hi, welcome in. Thank y'all for hitting that like button if you fucking with me, and thank y'all for hitting that subscribe button, that notification bell, so you don't miss out whenever I post new readings. And thank you for hitting that comment button to let me know what your favorite song from 2025 was. Okay, Scorpio. Not still here, period. She said I'm locked in. I know these readings are like 20 minutes each minimum. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what's going on for Scorpio. The song that y'all got, okay, is 11:59 by Maxo Kream. Okay, so Aries got a Scorpio. Aries had Swim Good by Frank Ocean, okay, and Scorpio got an Aries, okay. So y'all may want to watch the Aries reading if that feels called to you, but I definitely feel as though regardless, you had a very Mars-based year, okay. You could definitely have other Scorpio placements, okay, or an Aries placement. Okay, that could be very significant. I could even have some Sag placements going on. But whatever the case may be, I do think that this was a very like forward year, maybe even like aggressive. Okay, this is a very like blunt type of year for Scorpio. Okay, I just seen all kind of ones. This was a huge new beginning. There was a huge reset, even with the song 11:59. Okay, there's like 2025 was like a huge ass reset. Like you could tell at some point in the year that there was something big coming for you. Okay, 11:59 by Maxo Kream. Okay, I could rap about trapping, selling blank, moving dimes. Okay, I could rap about all these different things. He, you know, illegal shit. He could rap about. He said, "Scene turned 12 like 11:59." Okay, so honestly, y'all, this was like y'all had some haters and some shiesty shit happen to y'all during 2025. Okay, this whole song is like seeing people around him, seeing his friends, his homeboys, okay, his people turn 12, you know what I'm saying, like turn federal, turn police, you know what I'm saying, like 11:59 is like the time was finished shift to 12, you know. So I definitely think that this was a year to where people were definitely shady shiesty to you. Okay, y'all definitely had some ops or some people who were just on some crazy shit, some bullshit. Okay, y'all got stories to tell for days about 2025. To be quite honest with you, I feel like there was a lot of eventful energy and people moving really fucking weird in regards to you. Okay, I'm also hearing that song "Where's My Husband" by Ray. She's a Scorpio as well. Okay. Someone here could be Ghanaian. Okay, Ghana could be significant. But I definitely, someone here could be British as well. I definitely think that with 11:59 by Maxo Kream, I feel like y'all, this was a very like shadowy, this was a very shadowy type of year. You know what I'm saying? I definitely think that this was a shadowy ass year for y'all. People definitely revealed their truth. Some of y'all could have had a 12th house perfection year, okay, or like Pisces energy could have been very significant. Y'all were definitely like recognizing who was like shiesty, okay? Y'all definitely did lots of cleansing, protecting, lots of it, especially protecting, okay? Like this was y'all with y'all's boundaries set, okay, or learning about how to set y'all's boundaries, okay? So yeah, we have the Hermit, okay, and then we have the High Priestess in reverse, okay? I think that y'all were ignoring your intuition at some point in time about needing to spend more time with yourself. Okay, y'all were ignoring your intuition. Like, you know, I almost crashed the fuck out this year. Scorpio could have definitely felt like that. Y'all could have definitely felt like y'all almost crashed the fuck out. Okay, because people was trying y'all. This was a major year. Okay, what? Look, y'all, there's somebody being fucking weird in my comments right now as soon as I say that. Okay, so I do think that during 2025, y'all were like ignoring your intuition about some of the people that were around you and kind of like needing to take yourself off the scene. Okay, especially people who are trying to be hypersexual with you. Okay, or like whatever the case may be, because there's somebody in here being weird. Okay, like, yeah, the name Brandon could be significant for y'all 2025. Okay, the name Wiggins could be significant. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely feel as though, and mind you, I'm on here, so I don't even know if I can fully block somebody. But let me see. Yeah. Let's go ahead and put user in timeout. Okay. I definitely feel as though, right, not Bible, thank you. Because I'm like, what the fuck? Like somebody was being weird in here. Okay. So I do think that for Scorpio, y'all could have definitely dealt with some like weird ass SEGG energy from people. Okay. Or like people just being weird. Okay. People being weird. All right. Like, some shit definitely surprised y'all. I think that y'all kind of like ignored your intuition about like taking. Y'all could have ignored your intuition about a Virgo, or you could have ignored your intuition about needing to kind of like be with yourself. As soon as I say that, we have this Knight of Wands right here and this Temperance. Okay, so I just feel as though this was the year where you were looking very good, looking very sexy. People were very interested in you in one way or another. Okay, but I definitely feel as though y'all may have like ignored your intuition about like balance. You know what I'm saying? Just because like you felt good in one way, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe y'all feel cuter this year than you did before, but there was something that you still were not recognizing about like some of the people that were around you. And I feel like there was just people who were kind of taking your emotions for like weakness or taking what you had going on for weakness. Okay. I don't know. This is very like, y'all definitely had some suitors and people trying to fuck with you this year. Okay. But I just, country like Leanne Rhymes. Leanne Rhymes could definitely be significant. Okay. A lot of y'all, the South could be significant. Going to the country could be significant, or the countryside. Okay. I definitely think that y'all were getting a lot more attached to like your roots. Okay. Y'all could have went back home to the South. Okay, this year. Okay, or went back home to wherever it is you're from. But y'all could have just been getting deeper into your environment, getting deeper into your roots, possibly where you're coming from, where you are from. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly and truly, y'all got stories for days. 2025 was definitely one of those times. Y'all definitely got some stories for days. Okay. Yeah, confirmation. And I also think that like divine timing was definitely like on y'all side. Okay. I think that y'all became a lot more aware of timing during 2025. Okay. Especially in regards to like school, education, learning. Okay. Programs. Okay. Graduate programs. Okay. Co-workers work. Okay. Groups in general, group projects that y'all are working towards the same thing. I just feel like y'all became hip to like what was going on. You know what I'm saying? I think that y'all were thinking a lot about how people had y'all fucked up this year. Okay. I think that this year y'all been thinking a lot about how people in prior years have had you fucked up. Okay. Uh, like, y'all also could have been dealing with like head pressure, headaches. Okay, definite psychic gifts were trying to come like through, but y'all weren't spending enough time with yourself. Okay. Yeah. Y'all were not listening to your intuition this year about needing to take time to yourself. Okay, and get your routines together like that. Okay. um Somebody could have been painting. Okay, painting could be significant. Okay, or like repainting your walls. Okay, someone here could be African American, foundational Black American. Okay, Solan. Okay, Solani. All right, let's look at my Solan flag on the wall. But yeah, y'all, I definitely, y'all definitely was real funny this year though. Okay, or this year in general was real funny. But I just, y'all definitely have some ops and some people actually like snitching on you, or some people just like just had you fucked up for real. Okay, this was a very eventful ass year. Okay, this was a very eventful ass year. Okay, ciphers could be significant. I'm thinking about Maxo Kream when he was on the Red Bull cipher. Red Bull could be significant. Okay, I definitely feel like y'all were trying to just kind of like fly through the year a little bit. Okay. But honestly and truly, like, this is a little interesting. So let's see what was going on for y'all. Y'all's birthday could have been super, super significant. Let's see what's going on for y'all. What was going on during winter? Okay, so January through March of 2025. What was going on January through March 2025 for Scorpio? Okay, let's see. The journey. Okay. I'm still here by Tisha Campbell could be significant. Okay. You are learning that every challenge you face has a hidden gift inside. Okay, so the year could have definitely been a little bit challenging, or maybe these challenges were coming back in from December 2024, okay, or from the winter in 2024. But I definitely feel like January through March was definitely about the journey for Scorpio. All right, y'all were learning that every challenge that you were facing had a hidden gift inside. So maybe you were learning more about like yourself. Um, Ooh, excuse me, confirmation. I think that y'all learned a lot about yourself, and I think that y'all were learning how to kind of like release, okay, or what it is that you needed to release, even if you didn't do it just yet. A lot of y'all could have got deeper into like your yoga, your stretching, okay. Security could be significant, security jobs, okay. The letter X could be significant. It could also have to do with like a journey having to do with your ex, okay, January through March. But yeah, y'all were definitely like facing challenges during January through March, which had a lot to do about you standing in your light and speaking your truth, okay, speaking up for yourself, okay. I definitely feel as though like setting your boundaries was a big thing, okay, or a big issue, speaking up for yourself, saying what you gotta say, in balance, like not being mean about shit, but also not keeping too much shit to yourself. Kendrick Lamar is significant, okay. Gemini energy, the name Kendrick as a whole could be significant. California could be significant. But I do think that January through March was very, very like eventful or challenging in general. But I do think that you were trying to go about it in like a very like nice way. Let's see what's going on during spring. Okay, so from March to June, what was going on during spring? Okay, Aries season is up in there. Okay, so it's Taurus season. All right, so yeah, y'all are feeling a little bit disconnected from source, okay, during that point in time. Like I said, there was eclipses in between that. But your connection to source is the light and love that shines through you and leads the way. But in reverse, like this is kind of like y'all were kind of dealing with feelings of darkness and like hate. Okay, y'all were very disconnected from source when it came down to springtime, March through June. Okay, y'all were dealing with like shadow. Okay, how you feel about hate. Okay, shadow, darkness. Okay, and I think that at some point in time, y'all's darkness was kind of like leading the way. Y'all had very toxic relationships. Okay, or your relationship was toxic during the springtime from March through June. Okay, it was just like you not feeling connected to spirit. Okay, yeah, y'all were not feeling connected to spirit. I don't know fully what that's about. Okay, but I definitely feel as though like there were a lot of synchronicities. Like y'all were having challenges in your relationships. Okay, y'all were not recognizing the synchronicities. A lot of y'all, how do I even explain that? Okay, a lot of y'all were developing trust issues, okay, during that springtime. Okay, between winter and spring, there was definitely some like trust issues and working with forgiveness that had to be thought about, okay, during that point in time. Not enough grounding in your relationships. That could definitely be very, very significant, okay? I feel like y'all were very disconnected from your gifts. Y'all were very disconnected from source, okay? And I do think that y'all were like kind of on a flow towards heaviness. Like Scorpio is one of the signs that can really get heavy, okay, very fast. Okay, it has to be like corrected quickly. Okay, so yeah, y'all were feeling real disconnected. There was shit that you weren't fully understanding. That's where that high priestess in reverse energy that's back here. That's what that is. Okay, it's being disconnected from your gifts. All right, disconnected from source. Maybe I just disconnected from like a reader or your habits or whatever the case may be. So let's see from summertime, which is going to be June to September. What happened during summertime for a lot happened during summertime for Scorpio, okay? A lot happened during summertime for Scorpio, okay? So y'all have past life connections, okay? So summertime, you're currently healing past life, which you could have met somebody, okay? Especially if this person is a Page of Wands, okay? A Knight of Wands. Fire sign energy is incredibly significant for y'all this year. I would be very surprised if y'all didn't have fire sign placements or that a fire sign wasn't significant for y'all this year. Okay, period. But like, this was a fiery ass year. Okay, this is a lot going on. All right, but I definitely think that during summertime, y'all could have definitely met some past life connections, or people from your past could have definitely been coming back. Okay, during summertime. All right, so from June to September, not that damn Leo boy. Okay, uh from June to September, there could have been a past life connection that was here in your life, okay, to teach you about something, okay, to teach you about like releasing limiting beliefs, okay, and like your belief system in general. All right, so somebody from y'all's past or somebody from a past life, okay, popped up during the summertime, okay, to like heal past life wounds, okay, and y'all could have definitely, this was a very karmic, I'm not gonna lie, this feels very karmic. All right, y'all went through a huge fucking change this summer. All right, a major metamorphosis. Y'all were definitely, mind you, y'all were disconnected from source during the fucking springtime. Summer was like, nope, back to it. It's like y'all were like bum rushed, okay, and y'all had to work on self sabotage that y'all gained from your past life, okay, understanding where you're self sabotaging at, okay. Y'all were creating pain for yourself by standing in your own way. Y'all the only people who got two right here that I put down actually. So I do think that y'all were dealing with issues. Standing in your own way is a problem that you dealt with in past lives, okay, Scorpio, and during summertime, okay, at some point between June and September, y'all got to a point of recognizing that you do have these spiritual gifts that you could use to kind of get past the self-sabotage, okay, but a lot of that also had to do with like some of the people that you were around, okay, like your relationships, whatever the case may be, okay, like shitty friends. All right, but I do think that like summer was very transformational, heavy work, heavy shadow work, okay, past life connection and shadow work, okay. Akasha's Lair could be significant, okay. I believe she's a YouTube account on here still. Yeah. um the name Akasha is significant. Also gives me Akashic records, of course. And let's see what happened during fall, which is fall now when I'm filming this. Okay, but from September to December 21st, which that was also that's Scorpio seasons up in there. Okay, so fall, major transformation. Fall feels completely different than the rest of the year. Yay! Fall is happy. Fall was much happier. Okay, drop that dang friend group in the summer, okay, as you should have. You did what you had to do. Okay, fall. Okay, September to December, y'all. September to December, this is looking great. Y'all are rejoicing, okay, especially because shit is not feeling the way it was feeling during most of the year. Okay, hi, welcome in, honey. I definitely think that for Scorpio, this has a lot to do with, like I said, it says you have learned how to make the most out of life. Okay, so you started off the year in that type of energy, and this could literally just have to do with like the transits. Okay, but you are learning in the beginning of the year. Okay, during winter, y'all was learning how that every challenge you face had a hidden gift inside, especially in your relationships. And now at the end of the year with fall, you have learned how to make the most out of life. Okay, because of all this shit that the journey has brought you through. Okay, so the beginning of your journey definitely was in the beginning of the year, and it's kind of like continued, you know what I'm saying, and like you went through an awakening during the summertime, okay, and now you're in that period to where fall feels much different. Fall feels much different than the rest of the year did, okay, especially winter and spring. Okay, so yeah, fall, y'all have learned how to make the most out of life. Okay, y'all are literally allowed to, like, y'all are feeling happier. Okay, y'all are feeling happier, even if there's some sort of like, even if something doesn't manifest the way that you want, like this is you understanding like why everything is happening the way that it's happening is because, like, every challenge you face is a part of the journey. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of the journey. All right, and I also think that y'all are also okay with not being seen as much. Okay, y'all were taking life way too seriously, and during fall, this is y'all getting deeper into your intuition in a calm, fun, cool, calm, and collected, casual way. Okay, Crazy Sexy Cool by TLC could definitely be significant. Okay, I just feel like this is less transformation, like heavy ass transformation, and this is more you being like happy with the way that things are going, and your intuition and your spiritual gifts are definitely going through a positive change. Okay, you're experiencing positive life changes, but that had to happen only after you parted ways with some people. Okay, even if you had to part ways during the summertime with some people who were self-sabotaging. Okay, But I just feel like you have to get out of some like power struggle, okay, and dealing with people who are just like negative, okay. And when you did that, like during this fall, this is you feeling good, okay, Scorpio. This is you making the most out of life, okay. So fall definitely feels a lot better than the rest of the year, okay. And lastly but not leastly, we're gonna go ahead and see what the biggest lesson from Scorpio was during 2025 before I hop up off of here, okay. Um, yeah, if y'all haven't already, don't forget to check out part 1, which has Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Okay. But y'all had some major lessons. Okay. Y'all had some major lessons, major cycles closing. Okay. A lot of y'all also may have learned a lot about like magic. Okay. But I definitely feel as though the biggest lesson here was like y'all definitely shut down a huge ass cycle this year. Okay. Biggest lesson that Scorpio learned. Okay. Biggest lesson. I think that y'all are actively still in the middle of it. Okay. Grateful for those lessons, period. Okay. I actively think that y'all are still in the middle of a lesson. Okay. So for Scorpio, unsurprisingly, the biggest lesson comes from Santa Muerte. Okay. Offering. Okay. So y'all could be devotees of Santa Muerte, or some of y'all, the biggest lesson of this year was maybe she came into your life this year. Okay. Or maybe the biggest lesson had to do with like transformation, death, endings. Okay. She literally is Scorpio energy, like as a whole. Okay. Like transformation. I definitely think that the biggest lesson came from like embracing endings, okay, embracing change, all right. And I also think that the biggest lesson here also came from your spiritual practices. This offering card has a lot to do with like altar work, okay, putting offerings down and also like offering things to yourself. Your biggest lesson came from getting deeper into your spiritual practices, connecting with source, connecting with maybe a deity, okay. Period. Blessings to Santissima. We love to see it. I am a devotee myself. Y'all could have definitely gotten like deeper into your relationship with Santissima this year, or your relationship with death as a whole, or your relationship with transformation and change. Okay, so this was a deeply transformational year. Okay, so yeah. Okay, thank you to my ancestors and their love. Okay, we love to see it. Not in their love for yams. I'm crying. That's real, actually. So African peoples who were enslaved rechristened, okay, rechristened, quote unquote, their deities into Catholic saints to maintain their religious practices. Okay, biggest lesson could have had to do with your religious beliefs, okay, and like you getting deeper into your practices, okay, whether that's altar work for your ancestors or a deity, okay. Catholicism could be significant. This could be getting away from like major organized religion, okay. That was a lesson for y'all this year. Okay. Make also picking and choosing who you share shit with. Okay. About your beliefs. Okay. Santa Muerte is surrounded by cigars, tequila, and chocolate. Okay, so this card is the altar card, and when it appears, it's time to create an altar for yourself. Okay, 2025 was a time to create a personal altar. It's not too late if you're not somebody who wants to do that. And also, this is about maintaining your altars. Okay, on the altar before her lies canna, okay, tobacco, many colorful flowers, candles, and fruit. Smoke is blown over it as a practice of purification, and this is shown in the smoky haze that surrounds it. So I definitely think that your biggest lesson had to do with learning how to like maintain your altar space and like your connection with spirit, as well as to like take care and honor yourself. Okay, bread, water, and incense are seen in abundance at her sides, as these are things that are considered essential offerings. The red, white, and gold candles aligned in the card represent candle magic, symbolizing the importance of ritual. So yes, the biggest lesson that you learned was how important ritual is and how important your spirituality is and your connection with spirit, your connection with source. Okay, y'all's candle magic could have been very, very powerful this year. Okay, y'all could have been learning more about magic, more about Santissima, or just more about like altar work and just like, you know, ritual in general. All right, remind yourself that death is not always a true death. You can say goodbye to an old version or program, and this is where Santa Muerte can help. Okay, so that was your biggest lesson during 2025. Y'all reminded yourself that death is not always a true death, and that you can say goodbye. Y'all said goodbye to an old version, old program, old belief system, a religion that doesn't work for you. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel as though like this was a huge ending. Okay, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But yes, y'all, that is what y'all's biggest lesson was how to get deeper into your spiritual practice, because like y'all are very naturally spiritual people in general. Y'all have all this depth. Okay, this is y'all being comfortable with things ending and being comfortable with things changing, and it not be like, you know, like y'all as Scorpios in general are super used to things ending and changing. All right, but this is you like incorporating a way to like balance those things out, you know, by keeping a solid routine, you know, a solid spiritual routine. But with that being said, that is what I have for you, Scorpios. Thank y'all so much for hitting that subscribe button, the notification bell, so we can be kinfolk, okay? And thank you for leaving me a comment down below about what your favorite song for 2025 was, okay? And if this video resonated for you. Yeah, thank y'all for hitting that like button as well. I fuck with y'all the long way, Scorpio. And I will talk with y'all later. Ooh, if I could.